Okay, so for this collective, as soon as I started to focus on a reading, I was hearing energy surge. So I think you are really feeling that eclipse energy. And I've gone for my Copal today. So, which is like, I don't know if I've ever done a reading with Copal going. So that's also important because it came out of nowhere that I wanted to do that. That could be a part of your ritual specifically. And I have to put this out there because it's not originally my cultural heritage. That was gifted to me. Just saying. Just saying, we should not be buying those things. We should be being gifted those things if we are not from that culture. So, but anyways, um, I don't know what I want to get. I know we've been starting with emotion. Let's do that. Let's just start with this collective's emotion since I was hearing energy surge. See what kind of energy surge it is. Okay. Source, what is this collective's emotional baseline right now? Joy. That was good. Or I think that was hope, maybe. What is this collective's? Confidence. Impatient. I was feeling a little bit of that this morning, but I thought it was me. I wasn't thinking excited. Confident, patient, and excited. So it was a little bit of a collective emotion because I was like, God, this is coming out of nowhere. I wonder what this is. But it was like so strong. I didn't want to automatically assume it was somebody else's emotion or a collective emotion. But anyways, all to say, there's excitement and confidence around you, but there's also an air of impatience. So losing patience, come on, wanting change, testing patience, had enough, eager and slow moving. The confidence can be applied to either one. You could be really trying to not let your ego speak to you right now when it comes to the timing of things. It's one of the hardest lessons to learn outside of spirituality, or inside of it, just not wanting to rush the process of whatever it is you're doing, or even if things are out of your control, which oftentimes in this world they are in our lives, like big things. Wanting to just like sit back and let a process play out. It just feels a little bit all over the place. Let's get one more for the impatient. It's not bad. It's clearly not bad because you've got excited, but impatient, sabotaging, ruining things for yourself, destructive, blocking success. So that's what it is. It's just in the mind. I don't think anything's happened for this collective. I think you've just had a rush of energy. We'll get what you are seeing in your life with tarot here in a second. But deep in your soul, whatever you're excited for, you can't rush it, right? The universe does not respond to force in that way. And there's a huge difference between taking control of our life and making decisions for ourselves and like those leaps of faith, moments like that. And, kind of stepping in it when it's just a timing thing that's rubbing us the wrong way. You being excited and confident, that's your higher self telling you that whatever is going on, everything's going to be fine and everything's going to play out exactly the way it should. But then again, your ego comes in and be like, all right, let's not rush or like, let's get this done. Let's do it right now. Make the call, go to the place or whatever. So let's just see what you're seeing in your life. How is this collective seeing their world right now? Two more. One more. Ooh, the seer. This could be a fellow practitioner. You definitely have the gift of sight, though. That's for sure. Eight of Wands in reverse. See, so perfectly lines up. See how at the end of this row, we'll get the other two in a second. Eight of Wands is about taking time to align. Things needing time, literally. So it just confirms it, but it's like you are literally, your higher self knows that whatever's on the horizon, whatever you're getting downloads, intuitions, or you're seeing with your beautiful psychic mind, that it will come to pass. Like the prophecy will be foretold, but in your physical life, it's just not there yet, right? So there's that inner tug of war. That's what the Sun in reverse going within, being very optimistic really lines up too. And then the Prophet too. You're a seer collective. You are one of the, and I only read them every so often, but you're one of my practitioner collectives. So if you are not someone who seeing or your intuition, your ability to be clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, clairgustant, what all the clairs, if you don't have the clairs and you don't use those in your life as a part of your life path, the reading's not for you. Stay and watch if you want, because to get those two, that's really intense. We were just talking about the prophecy. So that Eight of Wands, this will be one of those messages that finds you to confirm everything that you're feeling, and also as a message of confirm. I just said that. Now I'm getting all lost in the mind because the excitement of your energy is taking over. But to confirm what you already know, and also to really just solidify in your body that the rushing is a part of the ego, the shadow, the, whatever you're trying to leave behind. And now it's coming to my mind that whatever is on the distant horizon, source is not going to give me any clues, because clearly the impatience and the waiting is one of your biggest lessons in this life, right? Um, that's really intense, though. Let's get one more for that Eight of Wands and see from your perspective what's on hold. Oh, Lovers in reverse. I can't imagine this collective you... Well, we'll just see. Eight of Swords. Oh, goodness. 8 and 8. Karmic lesson. And karma doesn't mean negative, or it doesn't mean, negative or toxic by default. It's just a lesson. It's just like a stepping stone. It's just a chapter in a book. But Lovers in reverse, that doesn't have to be a romantic situation. When it came out, that was my first instinct to be like, I can't imagine you're really, if you're really tied up in the idea of like a romantic relationship. Not that those things aren't important, but when this is a part of your life, like it's a big cornerstone in your life, I don't know. I just get the feeling that it's not, I'm just going to say it seems trivial. Like it seems, this Lovers, it seems like, what? Who cares? It's like, and again, that's not my personal opinion, but that's just like kind of what the energy feels like, is that compared to like using that beautiful gift, being that high priestess, like who cares about that? But it's something obviously that in the past has kept you trapped in the mind for quite some time. So you could be, and you would know this about yourself, is that when something really close to the heart space, relationships, friendships, family, whatever, close bonds, when something like that is on the rocks, you hyper fixate on it, and then at the expense of other responsibilities in your life. Usually I see it happen with like finances. But if it's not that, it's just like, you would let the dishes pile up, and, maybe the mail's kind of coming out of the mailbox a little too much. It's just stuffed in there. Maybe the garden hasn't been weeded in a while. Like whatever it is, it's because like your beautiful brain is so used to things coming in naturally, but that's because of detachment, not because one area of your life is like that beautiful flowing stream of blessings and the other one isn't. And that's how detachment works. People get detachment wrong all the time, and especially when it comes to things you've seen or manifestations, which I think are just psychic visions. The more you hold on to it, the idea, that's actually coming from a fear place and not from an acceptance place. And once you actually accept and believe that whatever you've seen is going to happen, that's when it actually happens much more quickly. And that's why impatience is such a hard lesson to learn, because it's like the more we focus on something not being here, that's what's going to happen in our life, is it's going to continue to not be there. You have a magician's mind. So whatever you are cooking up in here, you're going to create, because you're a master manifester in that way. You manipulate energy without you even realizing it. That's why I'm saying like this Eight of Swords, hyper focusing on things that are out of alignment. Let's take an actual relationship out of it. Like anything that doesn't align with you, the more you're like, oh, this doesn't align and I don't like it and it doesn't make me feel good. And that's, again, you're speaking it or thinking it into the future. That's why it has been on hold, because if it was really meant to be a terrible, horrible disaster, it would already be in. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Because the excitement is really interesting. What is this collective excited for right now? Maybe you just got some sort of intuition or download, or like another archetype. Which one is that? Oi, these claws. The rabbit and the fox. So this archetype is about self-sacrificing, and also sacrifices that are needed in order to make your dreams become a reality, and sacrifices about the whole story behind this archetype is I forget how he phrases it exactly, but it's like the fox sacrifices himself to the to this lady, or the rabbit does, and as a show of gratitude and like devotion. I hope I'm not getting it wrong. I haven't read it in a long time and I don't know where the book is, but there's something here that's created that excitement, and for that to come out, it's a little hanged man energy where it's like you surrender and you release things that don't serve you in order to put yourself on the right road or align with what you want in the future, but it's not a guarantee. Does that make sense? I feel like if it's your reading, it'll make sense, because as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, I don't know if that was even a real sentence. So that's got to be your energy too. Not in a bad way, but with seer and prophet collectives, I've noticed that's a pattern. Is that when I channel those, the messages don't make sense to me, but they're not supposed to. So, anyways, this is really intense because again, it's on the end of this row, so it's a lack of a focus. And also now this sabotaging is making more sense. You know that the more you focus on it, the more it just sabotages the outcome. So that's good. That's good. Let's get one more for this sun card, because that's another card about gratitude. What is this collective really grateful for in their life right now? Whoop. Whoa, that's way too many. That's way too many. Get it together. Okay, just one, please. Just one. Okay, two. Queen of Wands, but Two of Pentacles in reverse. So you'd think that if it was something that you were really grateful for, it would be upright, but maybe you've seen something off in the distance. Queen of Wands, she practices the most magic in the tarot world. She's like a siren, a witch, you know. She is an oracle as well, but like she really, like I see her as literally someone who does spell work, or the natural alchemist. And maybe you've seen something in your psychic mind and you've acted on the anticipation of maybe some sort of downfall or lost opportunity that made you feel very disorganized and out of balance. And now you're feeling grateful for having made that decision, even if you don't know for sure it's going to be the right one. It's an interesting pairing. I kind of just want to get into Source's perspective and see what's actually going on. Because again, in your energy, I know you're going to understand these messages, but like, I don't know, maybe it's a selfish impulse that I want to also understand what's going on. Let's see. Let's see what you just activated in your contract. But first I want just one of these and see what gateway they're opening up for you. Okay, so collective, what gateway are you opening up for this beautiful collective? Did I just say collective? What gateway? All over the place. Hold on. Okay, hopefully that helped. We'll just see. All right, Source, Creator, what gateway are you opening up for this collective? Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. The acceptance is really sticking out to me on there. Let's get one more. Look how pretty these cards are. It's like a beautiful star with like a mandala around it almost. One more. Earth star activation, and you can't really see it on the camera, but there's like it almost looks like there's like a tiny little Merkaba star in there, and then there's like, it looks like that's a little Merkaba star as well, but it says Earth star activation, anchoring, grounding action, Isis energy. So that's what's around you right now and what they're activating, so that you've grounded something in your life. And again, I don't think you're seeing any of the fruits of your labor, but any prophet or high priestess energy understands, as this collective, I believe you do, that it's not about what we get in this life. It's about the experience and being in alignment with our highest good, right? Oftentimes, that is not the thing that is bringing us riches and making us the most popular in the class, but again, that's not what it's about. So for sure, this collective, because again, you have that confidence and that excitement, something in your soul is ringing very true for you right now, and you can feel it. You can feel it 100%. Okay, so let's just see what's being activated in your contract from Source's perspective. What is being activated in this collective contract right now? Creator, what is being, one more. The gears, it was the only one that's up. So things being in motion, acting in smooth seamlessness with efficiency and precision, perfect timing, synchronicities would be flooding in right now for you, and feeling very interconnected, perfectly aligned with everything we've already talked about. Ooh, okay. Whoa. You had the Celtic knot, the detour, the church, the bouquet, and then the gears. Something's coming to my mind. And I normally would want to confirm this before I like get cards to confirm this, but with what has already come out and who this collective is, I don't feel like I need to, because you're going to know this is true the second that I say it. Whatever you've done in the past, I'm hearing 6 weeks up until now, in order to create the energy around you that is actually around you with this heart source and earth star activation, you are actually making decisions that are aligning you perfectly. And because of that, stuff like this is actually falling away. Because that's not a bad card, but like combined with this bouquet card, which I've kind of traditionally seen as a card of reconciliation, it's like your energy, because you're so excited for yourself and you love the harmony you're feeling within this, that reaction I had to that lovers in reverse, where it's like, who cares? Like, that would have also been like, that's what's coming to my mind. I hope it makes sense, because like I just connected 2 dots where it's like, oh well, yeah, you wouldn't really care about that if you were in alignment, because you know you have everything you need within, and who you are and your connection to source is the most important thing, right? Because normally anytime anybody sees lovers in reverse, especially with 8 of Swords, do you get what I'm saying? Like, normally it'd be like a point of pain, but especially with your emotions, just make sure this lines up, because usually, this is the other thing. Usually, as soon as we let go of something, as soon as we let go of that rope, of that net, and we let that butterfly go, that's when dominoes start to fall, right? That's when movement happens in areas where there wasn't movement, because we're no longer damming up the river. And unfortunately, once we get to a point of detachment, that also means emotionally we don't want it anymore, right? We've let go of both the emotional and the mental tether to it. We've snipped it. I'm seeing those. I haven't seen this in forever. I used to see it last summer all the time. So maybe you're a collective that's been watching me since last summer. I have a few OGs, but like in the troop, but I'm seeing the thread between, like, the life thread in the Hercules Disney movie from the 90s or early 2000s, when Hades goes to cut like a mortal soul's thread. He just snips it and then they go into the underworld. But when you try to cut like a god's thread, it's gold and you can't. And Hercules goes down to save Meg, and as soon as he like pulls her to the surface, he goes to cut it and it turns gold. That's what I was seeing. Because it's like, once you actually have that firm connection to source, you don't let go of it. And you don't let anything in your life like this that's going to separate you from it, because you know you can't be, right? And also understanding that, like, there's so much I could say. There's so much I can say. Let's just confirm each one of these. Because the unconditional love with the detour, that's what I mean. It's like, it was always a course disruption. It was always something in your mind that was pulling you off your path and making you feel these interruptions, and making you have to make adjustments and um, rethink different things. But it was always an obstacle and a setback from an external force, because you weren't looking within. And that came from your conscious programming. Your conscious programming that was telling you, without, romantic companionship or marriage, that, you weren't going to feel this harmony within. So it makes sense. It makes sense. And now that idea has been put into action. That's where the domino's been tipped over in the soul. So let's just confirm it though. Celtic knot. Yeah, because you literally are coming from a heart-centered place and being bold and brave and being connected to yourself, the high self-esteem and the inner strength. Look at how that confirms it. And I know I could read these anyway, but here's the thing. With everything we've already said, the strength of a lion comes from within. That strength card in tarot, which is also number 8, by the way, and you had a bunch of 8s already. If you think sitting there right now, even if this is not your collective, this is a message to those people. If you think for any minute that you can actually have this divine love without first having the strength of a lion within, you're so sadly mistaken. That's why this world is full of broken connections that on the surface level seem fine, but are deeply rooted in things like shame, guilt, toxicity, lying, mass behavior, low self-esteem, abandonment issues, trauma. Like, everybody has to deal with their own trauma. And when you finally come into balance and you love yourself and you have high self-esteem and you're confident, you understand that love doesn't complete you. Nobody completes you. You are already complete and you always have been, right? You have to get to a place, in my opinion, if you really want to be as close to enlightenment as you possibly can be, you have to let go of the attachment to desire. Because again, that is just your ego telling you that you are not complete, that there is something missing, that you are not whole, that you are separate from. And that's just not true. This collective, you know that. Especially because this heart of source, like that, you are the source. We are all connected. We are all one. And at the heart of it, that is what's most important. That is that light at the end of the tunnel. That is that star that the hermit carries in his lantern, right? That is the wishes coming true. That is breaking free from samsara, is realizing that you never had to participate in it if you didn't want to. That cycle of pain and desire. It's really nice. And it takes boldness and courageousness to just do what you need to do. This is really nice. I love it. So the detours, the course disruptions, the delays. Look at that. Every single time you went outside yourself and looked at love as something that complete you, it created a literal course disruption. As it's coming out of my mouth, what's this one? Yeah. And it was always getting in the way of your brand new beginning. Look at how they confirmed it. Every single time you thought this was on the horizon, that you thought you could see the sun, nope, course disruption, as long as you were relying on external love. This is the other thing, too, I don't get about people. Or like, and I used to think this way, too, and I'm like, I don't understand what taught me that other than the conscious programming. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why would real connection be as difficult as some people make it? Like, why? Why would people have to beg and be like brought to their knees with like pain and desire in order to feel love? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And like, I think back to younger me, and I think back to people who are still struggling with this. Why does it make any sense logically in the brain for connection to cost so much when we are innately connected to that energy already and it comes out of us? That's the clarity that you're having right now, that you need to navigate obstacles. This card also says problems end. I think it's true. I think you're having some sort of fresh start in the soul through that impatience and the sabotaging. It's a new day. It's a new day for this collective. And again, I think you're cautiously optimistic, because in your energy at the beginning, I was like, I don't know about this. But just, again, this message would be finding you to confirm what you've already been feeling from your higher self. That's magical. Darkest before the dawn. All right. What's this church card? That's the structure, belief system, the collective conscious, the programming, the traditions, which are sometimes just an accumulation of bad habits. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Every single time you relied on what other people said, what the governments enforce, what the schooling system says, what structured religion says, which at the very top of it, all it's capitalism, so that you consume and buy. Because if you're not finding love, you can change the way you look. You can buy all the nice things. You can put your, you can hire a matchmaker. You can do all the money. They're just trying to separate you from your money so they can stay in power. That's all it is. And every time you relied on any one of those narratives, all it did was make you sick. all it did was make your soul cry out for a reprieve from the anxiousness and the nagging and the like decay of that idea. The reduction, the irritation, the worry, the fear, the anxiety, it all came from that idea, that seed that was planted in your brain before you were even born. That's what breaking free means, is not believing any of that bullshit that says you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to find love. That you are the love that you seek. And I know that's hard for people to hear because I too have like, I do believe that we need connection. Like, I think it's a part of our, as a species, like we thrive in community, but like that doesn't mean solely and singularly romantic love. That's where people get it wrong. And sometimes I see like content of people who are like chronically single who are talking about like, oh, I've been doing X, Y, and Z by myself for years and I love myself and blah, blah, blah. I just want a relationship. I just want a relationship. Like, that's a totally normal feeling. But if it's playing on your mind over and over and over again, and it's the one thing that makes you upset, don't you think that that's the issue? Not the fact that you don't have anybody, but because that in a beautiful life of independence is the thing that can take you down. There's a huge difference between being lonely and being alone, and going like riding the waves of emotion and being, swept away in that current, or just standing strong and knowing that they're going to crash against you, but tomorrow can be a new day. And I said this the other day, like if you're having a bad day about stuff like that, try not to make it 2 days. If it is 2 days, try not to make it 3 days. Like small, tiny little improvements can make your whole life different. This collective, that. This is exciting. I love this. And that eclipse energy, I knew it. I was getting downloads about it last week. This one's gonna change some people like in a massive and fundamental way. It's gonna make me cry because I can feel it. I can feel the energy of the awakening of spirit. It's really nice. So let's get this bouquet, because this card, I've dedicated it again to mean that reconciliation, because anytime I see it, I would see like someone holding flowers, like in an I'm sorry. But on this card as well, right, which is even more important for this collective, is harmony, beauty, creativity, art, expressiveness, gratitude, appreciation, warmth, openness, and love. Right. So let's get that reconciling your soul, reconciling yourself and your past, and understand you're not missing anything. Right. It's nothing to do with anybody else. One more. Yeah, radical break from the past. And I was just talking about how I traditionally assign it in the past to mean something specific. Radical break, uprooted. Deep changes are taking place. It's a total fucking makeover. Before, it used to make you feel adrift and separated from yourself, but it's an opportunity to transplant. Anybody who's ever into plants at all knows that once something is root bound and can't grow anymore, you have to take it out of the pot it's in and put it in a new pot or put it in the ground, right? And sometimes that can shock the plant. Some plants like really wilt and look kind of like fake dead for like a little while, and then they come back thriving. That's that middle period where everybody's freaking out, right? Where like a plant just looks like it's dead. Wait, hold the vision, right? I'm seeing that moon card. It's really beautiful. And this is coming to my mind. I did this the other day. We had a really strong wind a couple weeks ago, and I've been growing corn. And even though I am growing a regionally specific indigenous variety of corn that can withstand the climate that I'm in, I did not plant them properly because I don't have a whole lot of experience with corn, and I forgot to mound up dirt around the root ball once they sprouted, right? So when the wind came, they all kind of fell over. And I was out there for like 2 days, staking up the corn and running a string between it, just so that they could then lift themselves back up. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and it did. But in the interim of them being like wilted and standing back up, I thought, do I just pull these out of the ground and start over? And I was like, do I even have time for that? And everything in me said, do not do that. Do not do that. Wait and see it out. And I'm so glad I did, because I went out there yesterday and there's corns growing, and they're like, the tassels are out and the flowers are out with their little silks to grab the pollen. And I just felt so grateful in the moment. That's what it's reminding me of, is even when things look like dire and done, just sitting back and waiting and not moving, that impatience with the sabotaging, it perfectly aligns. In this collective, you would know that. You know that. There's been so many times in the past where you've ripped the rug out from underneath some sort of dream because it didn't come in when it was supposed to. And you've been making that change deeply in your life. And look at what it's doing. You're breaking free from that karmic wheel of pain. It's beautiful. Proud of you. Proud of you. You should be proud of yourself too. What are the gears? I don't know. This one, the innovation, the ideas and action, the efficientness, the smooth, seamless, precise progress, and the function, the perfect timing. It does say teamwork on here and being interconnected, and you did get other people's influences. This card is like that toxic third party bullshit, but I'm not seeing it like that. I'm seeing it like just anybody outside of yourself, right? Another person or other people is a part of this gears energy. So let's get one more. And again, we can't do like nobody is an island. But I have to reiterate and double down. If you think that the only thing you're missing in your life is romantic love, and that is the thing that will make your life better, then that's why it's not working. It's because you're relying on it. Yeah, well, something that's off. I don't like, I'm going to start. Hold on. Okay, I had to make a note because I want to take every single card out of every deck that has a negative description with an animal being the icon, and I want to change it because I am so sick of the demonization of animals, like with human ideas and archetypes and whatever, because it's like really, really fucking toxic and negative, and I fucking hate it, and it's been driving me nuts. So I just had to make a note so that I would do that later today. Because like this fox card, like why are we assigning deceit to a fox? I don't know. I just don't personally like it. I think it's really Old Testament, and I think it's really ignorant. So anyways, and you would probably feel the same way because I've done readings and that hasn't come out, and you would again be some sort of animal lover, and you would, when you're coming into enlightenment, you stop, like you see that shit for what it is, and you cannot, like, it does, it doesn't align with you. So that's just another thing for this collective. But something being the sleight of hand, the deceit, something's wrong, the cunning, sly behavior, the self-interest when it comes to other people. There's something being activated here with the gears energy and some sort of precise timing. Too many people, outside parties, rivals. But either way, it's under the veil of perfect timing. So, and then teamwork. They're kind of contradictory. Do you know what I mean? Let's get one more for that. Because this is really beautiful, but I wonder if you've got some sort of test coming in. And usually you will, like when you're really, really changing your frequency, it's like the last bit of your shadow ego or old timelines that come back to tempt you one last time. And usually those are the hardest tests. But illumination is being activated around that gears energy. So this is very cosmically guided and aligned. I think it is some sort of test. We'll just see. In order for you to see yourself and your soul spark and have more self-discovery, you're getting more light codes right now, which is creating an even more creative spark to know that you are someone exceptional. So I guess it could be in the past too. Think back to every time you've gotten a gut intuition. I was going to say gut intuition. Anyways, can't talk. A gut intuition that a situation involving other people is off, even if face value, it didn't look like there was anything wrong. In the past, your ego would have tried to keep you in the familiar hell and you would have ignored it. And then things would have come out to show you that your intuition was right all along, right? And when you go through an awakening, that stuff is really disorienting because you start to really see through the veil with other people. Whatever this is, again, I think it's some sort of last and final test, but it's going to mirror tests from the past. So think back to the last, I'm hearing 18 months of every time you were like, I don't like that. So I don't know. I don't want to have to prove it to myself. I'm just going to not engage. Or when someone says something to you and you go, okay, but then you are like, that doesn't feel right. And until I know otherwise, I'm just going to stay away. Makes sense? Your mind would be taking you to places. Because then you would have found out however many days, weeks, months later, like, oh, that person was being not truthful. Or, oh, that person was being very self-interested and that wouldn't have worked out best for me. Whatever it is. Those are the light codes that we're talking about. Right? You get that illumination. It's like a flashlight from the divine, where you get the new puzzle piece. You integrate it into the zeros and ones, the unconscious programming in the back, in order to become more connected. I want one last one overall. This is really beautiful, but now I'm just a little worried about this. I'm not worried about you failing a test, but I'm feeling very protective. I'm like, what is this? One last one overall, and let's get you a moon card, because I was seeing that. I forget which one. Get back over here. Oh, sun. What was I just saying about things being illuminated? And you got it in your perspective in tarot. So energy, power, climax, fulfilled, pride, which can sometimes be ego. I think pride is good in very small amounts, but success, victory, happiness and warmth. The alchemy card on the bottom. Okay, let's just see. Am I getting a bloody nose? I hope not. Okay, let's shuffle these a bit. Ooh, what's that? A time for healing. Yeah, for sure. All right, what moon cycle is this collective in? And then we'll get your archetype. Maybe we'll get we'll get tarot at the end, maybe, and see if there's anything you need a heads up about. But what cycle is this collective in? Showing the world the real you. One more. So this could have happened. Didn't we just have a full moon in Aquarius? Don't let your pride get in the way. Nice. Working through your fears. So why does that feel like the test? If they're saying show the world the real you, it's because in the past, again, you didn't stand up for yourself because you were too worried about the waves it would create, right? And in that way, you were self-sacrificing. When we self-sacrifice, we abandon ourselves. And so it perpetuates the ego's familiarity with abandonment, because we don't want people in situations to dramatically exit out of our life. But again, when we start to heal, you see that self-sacrificing is an abandonment wound variation, and we stop doing it. And even though it's scary, we learn very quickly the people who are meant to be in our life and the people who are not meant to be in our life. And sometimes that's a really painful lesson, but oftentimes it's really surprisingly good, because we get that like nervousness when we, be like, hey, I actually didn't like that. And then some, usually if it's people who are meant to be in our life, they're like, I'm so sorry. Right. And we don't expect that when we're standing up for ourselves, because it's a new situation. But also we've had those moments where, we were to voice our opinions or be truly us, and we were rejected by the situation writ large. It's whatever's coming its way, your way, I think it's going to present very tantalizing, and it's going to be very magnetic. But that's not your gut intuition pulling you in. That is your pride and your ego of wanting to win, be right, or sacrifice. Because your gut's going to tell you right away it doesn't align, whatever it is. And you're going to be afraid of losing it too with this work through your fears. So show the world the real you. What is this? You are very close to achieving your goal. Now I'm going back to that Lovers in reverse in your perspective of tarot. I just want to see really quickly if they'll show me, or if it's going to be masked and veiled. Because if it's a test, like oftentimes I will not be able to give anybody concrete answers, because not knowing is a part of the test, right? That's what makes it harder. And even if I tell you, like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, you're so cosmically guided and protected with those two activations. Like, either way, you could be sitting here and I could tell you exactly what it is, and you'd be like, oh, I'm fine. But in the moment, we're different people when we're triggered. Strength in reverse on the bottom. It's going to pull on your feelings of inadequacy. Okay, so what is this situation that feels like a test? What is this situation that feels like a test? Source's perspective. What is the situation? 9 of Pentacles. That's what I mean. You're going to have to stand up for yourself and be strong and brave about what you really aligns to and your value. Oh, come on. Three of Wands, things that have been stuck in locked progress, delayed. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Pentacles upright. Could be work related, but because of all the Pentacles here. But either way, something that's been in your energy or hasn't been in alignment for years. Because that's what Pentacles are in tarot. But whatever's going to come towards you, it's going to be this balancing act where you're going to have to really weigh, or you're going to, feel like you're going to have to weigh some options. But it's going to trigger this Nine of Pentacles more than anything within you. Because I think what your soul is going to be telling you is that it's a delay and it would be a lack of progress if you were to engage with this. Page of Pentacles in reverse is kind of shitty because it's like this pessimism and this lack of foresight that can create a little bit of doom and gloom. I don't know why I'm feeling the urge, but I want to read you this author's description because this author doesn't do reversals. And I don't know why I'm feeling called to do this, but it's clearly going to be important because, again, this author doesn't do reversals. But I'm going to read it to you anyways, and we'll just see how it fits in. So it says, the Page of Pentacles knows that there is no use in playing childish games and waiting for someone else to solve their problems. They have recently realized that having dreams is wonderful, but now it's time to take action to make them a reality. The eye opens and the page sees themselves as an adult for the first time in their life. Their dreams are big, but the clock is ticking. If they want big gold pentacles, if they want the big gold pentacle, the delicate strand of pearls, or those pretty flowers, they will have to get their hands dirty. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop daydreaming. It's time to make things happen. Take advantage of an opportunity that has recently become available to you. Come up with a practical plan to get things done and start working. Be fair and honest. Stay true to yourself and don't make more excuses. You have to open your eyes and face the music. Now is the time to manifest your dreams. Take action to make things real. So, which, like, I love the way that author phrases things. That's the Tattoo Tarot. But, and for it to be in reverse, all of that shit is going to go out the window. All of that believing in yourself and the hard work you've already been doing. And, the fortitude to make your dreams become a reality. And also the new path you've stepped into. That one phrases it from, like, becoming an adult for real. I don't think it really has anything to do with age, but that is the energy of the pages because they're the lowest of the court. They're like the younger siblings, right? And I think if it's in reverse here, they're really saying, like, you could step off the path and that's going to make you feel like even more of a delay, lack of progress, returning home, but not in a good way. Let's get one more for that. There's something here about that page that's, like, incredibly important. Especially because on her depiction, there's, like, this clock too. It really is being guided and perfectly timed. One more for that. I just keep hearing pessimistic. Another page. Look at that. I'm going to have to read it too. I have to read it too. And it's in reverse again. And I was thinking, like, the only page I don't call the youngest child is the Page of Wands. And then there it goes, comes out. Look, I just split it open. And look, it's on that Page of Wands. Magic. I'm going to read it to you. This was the first card pulled after officially beginning my apprenticeship at the Black Owl Tattoo. It was about 9 months after beginning the journey. This card is about being young and full of creative energy. I feel it is the perfect card to represent myself as a young apprentice. Quite naive, but beyond excited. And you got that excited. Everything happens for a reason in a reading. Magic. Magic. Love that. Okay, now let me read you the actual card. Because remember, they don't do reversals, but we're just gonna walk through it real quick. There's Mr. King page. Okay, it says the Page of Wands is full of vibrant, fresh, creative energy. The page is optimistic and revitalizing. They are excited and enchanted as they dive into the new endeavor for the first time, or perhaps after a period of stagnation. I think that's important because if it's in reverse, they're saying this is what you're risking, right? This is what you're risking if you don't see yourself in a moment and stand up for what you truly be, what you truly believe to be in alignment with you, right? Says a frisky young fox, and you got that fox in this deck. This deck pops its head out of a trio of blossoming dahlias. It looks to its wand for inspiration and is prepared to pounce on any new idea that heads its way. The dahlias are open wide with red and fiery enthusiasm. The energy of the day is hopeful and lush with possibilities. The little fox is full of excitement, which you are. Who knows where it is to lead us? I've stumbled onto something or someone that makes your heart feel young and joyful. Hold on to it. That's a message. This vibrant energy is helpful in pushing new projects into production and allowing us to feel alive. There's no need to feel glum and bored with your life. There are exciting new opportunities all around you. Pick one and run with it. And you got that bouquet card. Just, it's really important because I don't think they're going to give me, like, this is a lot of information, but Eight of Wands in reverse on the bottom. There's going to be, people think that when they get a reading or they listen to a reading, that like everything that happens in a reading is this huge climactic event. But what I find, having done this for nearly 20 years, is that what I'm telling you, it could be so subtle in the moment that you almost forget that you know exactly what it is, right? Sometimes the biggest moments in our lives are just whispers of a 5 minutes, an interaction, whatever it is. It's not like music starts to get louder in the background and we zoom in and there's like a tight shot on like a phone or like a message or whatever. Like that is unconscious programming from media, right? You have to remember that, because in the moment of something coming through, it's not going to be, I think, super fucking obvious that it doesn't align, but your body is going to be like, no, follow that feeling. And even if it's hard, walk towards the thing that makes you feel yes, not no, right? Because it's a balancing act. Let's get one more for that Two of Pentacles. Five of Swords in reverse. It's going to feel like a loss. That's what I mean. It's going to feel like a little bit, but what it really is removing old layers and letting go of pain, letting go of betrayals, or that's what I mean. It's like, it's not even that climactic. I think it's going to be something small, but if you don't stand up for yourself here, it's going to be a betrayal of self and abandonment of self. Five of Wands, you can change an outcome, and you can really flip things on its head, but it's also a card about making amends. So that's why I think it's just complicated. Like, I think in the moment, it might even just be something that you're really hoping and wishing for. New moon energy. Gosh, maybe it started to land around the new moon and you're just feeling it or seeing it now. One more. Because I feel like, I know it's external. It's not going to be internal. You're already going through a lot of internal. The Strength card, remember, sign. It's going to make you feel inadequate. You're going to know in every fiber of your being that if you sit in the idea that you can make amends, or, try to make things work, or sacrifice yourself, it's actually going to be you feeling inadequate and self-sacrificing and abandoning yourself. Everything I say has a reason. Like, and again, another 8. This is a karmic lesson. And look how they're not giving me any specifics. The reason I got this deck specifically is because it has astrological signs or zodiac signs, and it's also got the moons in here. And so if it was more detailed about specific people, we would have seen the energy, but it's not. It's all about the energy internally, right? One last one, and let's see if they give us any details on who or what that is. Who or what is that situation that is on its way? As I was just saying, Aquarius energy. So if your brain took you to someone who's an Aquarius, that's a confirmation. If it didn't, not for you. We'll just have to see. King of Cups on the bottom. God, I'm so tempted to see what this is going to look like, because I think it's going to be really hard for you to walk away. Not from this person's perspective, because who cares? Like, that's not what it's about. I'm sure their intention is beautiful, but because it's going to get in the way of your true heart activation, like your Earth Star activation. You're not going to ground something here. You're going to rip that anchor out of the bottom of the sea. Unconditional acceptance toward yourself and things that don't align, so that you can find serenity. That's what I'm hearing. But again, in the past, this person would have also made you feel very inadequate. You would have taken a hit to your self-esteem when you interacted with this person, or when you guys stopped being in each other's lives. If you are not in each other's lives now, or every time you interact with them, there's like little slights, passive aggressiveness, unspoken words, a lack of truths. With that fox energy, that's what it is. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe we'll see just how this goes from Source's perspective. And, well, I'm going to get you tarot at the end anyway, so that'll show us what any sort of approach will look like. We don't need to get into it more than that, I don't think. Okay, so one more, this work through your fears. Ooh. Balancing spirituality and practicality. So I'm hearing surrender with that. Sometimes one of the hardest things to do in the mind is to tell ourselves a positive narrative, even when we don't have any of the evidence to prove it, right? And that's falling more on the spiritual belief of surrender and being protected and guided. But when we do that in excess, it can sometimes muddle the thought pattern up here. Like, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, so I'm going to do what I want. And that's not how that works, right? If they're telling you to balance, and you got two of coins twice, literally a card of balancing, I think this is going to be one of those moments where your surrender and your patience is going to be so tested. You're going to lose sight of that lesson, and it's going to feel like a final opportunity to do something or be in someone's life or have someone back or make amends. And it's not. Remember, you got strength in reverse over that Five of Swords. If you had gotten strength upright or the Lovers or the Star or anything, that would have been an indication that the amends that could potentially be made would be generally positive. But to get strength in reverse, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to take a hit to your self-esteem. How could that be in alignment for you? It can't. For someone who's like, for you, no, it's not going to happen. What's this? Don't let your past hold you back. Oh, what was that? Wait. As I was saying it, this is the don't let your pride get in the way. Did you hear me? Don't let your past hold you back. Sign. This is a really clear channel for the right collective. And normally when that comes through, like, it's normally a really clear channel in any of my readings. You can go back and see how decks will confirm each other. But when the signs, the specific signs, like the animals, the numbers, the cards start to repeat, the message is amplified. That's what it means to me, right? That was pure magic. Hold your vision. Whatever comes next, hold your vision. This whole message is so important for the right person. So go back and watch it if you have to. I'm I have the impulse to see more about, but I think they're more about whatever this energy is. But I feel like, again, the intention will be really beautiful, and that's going to make it even harder. So we're not going to do that. Let's just see how your animal energy is shining. Since we talked about the animal fox thing. How is this collectives? Oh, guess I'll get that in a minute. The black egg. Your truth, beaver. Oh. And the spider. So you weave a tapestry of magic everywhere you go. And that really confirms that you are a seer. That's one of the most magical cards, like spell work and alchemy wise in this deck. And also I'm hearing, don't forget that you're literally supported in this beautiful web that you've been weaving with the magic, the rainbow, the childhood trauma healing, the connection to source. Like, you're in your web. Even if other things get caught in the web, you are supported in this web. And if it gets torn down, you can always rebuild it. You have to remember that. I'm going to read it to you, though. I'm going to read it to you. I'm reading to this collective more than I think I've read to any other collective with that other book. You must love being read to. I love to. I love listening to a story. Like, I'd rather someone tell me a story than me watch a movie or whatever. And that's a deep, ancient part of our evolution, like the storytelling aspect of community and socialization. So your soul could be one of our fellow old souls, but creator prosperity through life's work and dharma. The spider is an ingenious creature or creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It's hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. Remember, that's that bridge that you're spanning right now. Be process-oriented rather than result-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. Appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous. When out of balance, though, discouraged, tired, and forlorn. I think you've got the test of a lifetime coming up. I'm not going to lie. Which, wasn't that yesterday's? I did a collective recently where that was a similar. I hope that that's the new wave, because last week's theme was kind of rough. Like, it was kind of rough on the soul too. There's a lot of regret and stuff like that. But Beaver, hardworking, loyal, tireless, and family first. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is what you're having to balance. Because remember, I said the self-sacrificing. It's the loyalty within you. You're a naturally very loyal person. And if someone who you still have tied to your heart space in some way, someone who's that Lovers in reverse 8 of Swords comes through with words that they've never said before, that loyalty is going to flare up when really it's just your pride and your ego. You are loyal to yourself and your path and alignment above all else. You cannot be loyal to people who are not loyal to you in return. And again, if there's been a lot of damage or there's been destruction or there's been conflict and anger and other people's opinions, then you would not be in alignment and you would not be being loyal to yourself to allow someone like that back in your life, ever. Ever, ever. People can change, but that doesn't, you'll get what I'm saying. I'm not going to read it to you because again, that's the whole thing with that. But then the black egg, that's you not holding back and standing up for what you want, because it's about truth. It's about speaking truth. It's about knowing truth and the truth that resides within. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard. And again, I think you could be sitting there being like, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You're not going to be. I'm warning you. It's going to be very difficult. They're warning us in all these different ways. The creator is. Don't forget about this web that you've been weaving, this universal magic web around you, where you call in the things that you need by catching them, right? By waiting in this web, by sitting in divine feminine energy. You don't need to force it. The spider doesn't go out and catch every fly and then bring it back to the web. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's get one more for that. Spiders could be a sign for you too. Whoa, 2. The raccoon with the bear. You no longer need to be hibernating and trying to, problem solve. Like, you have a creative, like, problem solver mind. You would have to be successful and be on the healing journey that you're on. But I just noticed my copal went out. Maybe they want me to end this message, because that candle still has quite a bit left and it just randomly went out. I think that's what that means, because now my mind is going completely blank. Dragon energy, that friend that's always with you, that watches the watcher, right? Let's just get you an angel number and then I'll close this out. That's never happened before in that thing. It's like literally, it's like, look at it. It's literally shielded. Like the candle's down here. And look how much is left in that candle. Can you see that? It's like barely lit at all. Okay. I will listen. listen. I will listen. Okay. Angelic company. Okay. Angel number for this collective. 818. Look at all those eights. And I said 18 months. Sign. It's all connected. Infinity. Life is a never-ending loop. Don't repeat a cycle here. Break the cycle, right? It says one cycle in your life is ending, but another is beginning. The shift can feel catastrophic, but it's the natural way of things. Be on the lookout for other signs coming your way. Your communication with your angels is strong now. Draw another card with the intention of receiving guidance in your next steps as your current cycle ends and the new one begins. Very precarious time. Make magic. 151. You could be seeing a lot of alternating numbers too. I always see that, like, when I see alternating numbers, it reminds me of standing in front of a mirror, but like, you know, mirrors are portals, like that being like the veil, right? I don't know why I always see it that way, but sometimes I'll like intuitively be like, oh, am I seeing something correctly? Because am I looking through the veil, or am I just looking at myself, like a lesson reflected? I don't know. You must just have a sign to that, like a similar meaning. But all right, so what's a source? What is the message on the next steps for this collective? 844. You are safe. Surrender and trust. Feel secure in the divine. Your angels want you to feel secure and safe in their watchful presence. You've been given an abundance of blessings recently. Okay, and when we say abundance, that doesn't mean that you've been given a bunch of money, right? That means that you've been divinely guided. You've been in the right place at the right time, and you've known that, and it's been for your benefit. You've been giving, I was about to say that twice. See the blessings and count them. As you do, say a prayer to the angels for gifting them to you. No blessing is too small to count. That's what I mean. Perfect. Good luck.